Hey guys, before we start the video here, quick little announcement. As you see, most of the people who watched my last video, 86% of you, are not subscribed. So if you do watch this video and you do like it and you would like to see more content like this in the future, please consider subscribing. It is absolutely free. And if you want to unsubscribe at any time, you can do so. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. The Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champions and the home of the $500 million quarterback. Many predict the Chiefs to repeat as Super Bowl champions in 2021, but I don't know if that'll be the case. Will the Chiefs continue their dominant run, or will somebody else be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy this February? As we all know, the Kansas City Chiefs are the reigning Super Bowl champions, but are they good enough to repeat? In today's video, I will be covering the 5 key factors that'll play a huge role in how the Kansas City Chiefs season plays out this year. Let's first start out with the division. I think they have the toughest division, with the Chargers getting better. They always play tough football, and they will always compete for that spot in the AFC West. You have the Raiders, who are getting better as well. I don't think they're as good as the Chargers, but I still think they put up a fight every time they play anybody in the AFC West. And then you have the Broncos. They're still unknown as to how good they will be. Drew Lock could be amazing or could be terrible. Nobody really knows, but that is a scary team to possibly steal the crown from the Kansas City Chiefs. So it's a pretty tough division. I think it's the toughest in the NFL, so they don't have that. Next up, we have strength of schedule. The Chiefs do have the 14th easiest schedule on paper, but they do play teams like the Bills, the Ravens, the Saints, the Patriots, and the Buccaneers. And they play in the AFC West, like I just stated, which is 6 tough games to play. So you're talking about 11 games that are not easy, and you have to win at least 11 or 12 to make it first round bye or even win your division. So it's going to be tough for the Chiefs. I do think they'll prevail in most of them, but still, that's a lot of tough games to be playing. Next up, we have coaching. Andy Reid, one of the best coaches in the NFL, one of the greater coaches in the league ever. He's an offensive mastermind. He's a man of the players. Everybody loves him. I would give him an A++, if that's even possible. That's how good of a coach he is. On the offensive side, you have Eric Bieniemy. He's a former player. He's been coaching since 2001. He was the Chiefs running back coach from 2013 to 2017. And he's been their offensive coordinator since 2018. And their offense has been spectacular since then. And also, a fun little fact, Eric Bieniemy was a Heisman Trophy finalist back in 1990. So, he's a good player too. And on the defensive side of the ball, we have Steve Spagnuolo. He's been coaching for almost 40 years. He's only been the Chiefs defensive coordinator this past year. He's a good defensive coordinator for what the Chiefs need. This past year, he did a lot with the team in a defense that I didn't think that was that talented. So I gotta praise him for that. I would definitely keep him. He seems to be doing good. So yeah, they have a very good coaching staff. They have even a very good special team staff. Their coaching staff is stacked. So that is one humongous plus for the Chiefs, and it's hard to come by great coaches nowadays. Now let's talk about culture. The Chiefs have amazing fans. I hate to admit it, but they do. Their stadium is very loud, like literally. They have the record for the loudest stadium ever. They always support the team through thick and thin. When the Chiefs would get bounced every year in the playoffs, or they wouldn't make the playoffs with Alex Smith, they were always there to support them. And now when they have a winning culture, it's the same. They are supporting them no matter what, and that's awesome. You need to have a winning culture, as I've said time and time again for the past couple videos. You have to have one, and the Chiefs have one of the best, if not the best, in the NFL. So that is a huge plus for them. For the final factor, we have just talent. Patrick Mahomes, their quarterback, no explanation needed. Best quarterback in the league. Didn't win MVP. He got injured, missed 3 or 4 games, but still, talent is there. One of the best quarterbacks of our generation. Running back, it's a wild card, I think. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is really their only back after they lost Damian Williams. I think he could do all right. He's a rookie. Their offensive line is kind of weak, so I don't know how he'll perform. But like I said, the offensive line's kind of weak. They lost a lineman due to opting out, so they're going to have to work with some schemes there on the line. Tight end, Travis Kelce and Blake Bell, 2 pretty awesome tight ends, so they have no problems there. Wide receivers, once again, self-explanatory. Mecole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Demarcus Robinson. 4 great wide receivers. Tyreek Hill, the most explosive wide receiver we've probably seen in a long time. So they have a lot going on that offense. On the defensive side of the ball, though, if you take away Tyrann Mathieu and Chris Jones, I don't know if that defense is anything. They don't have an identity besides those guys. Their linebacking core is kind of poor. Their secondary is alright. Their defensive line, they have Chris Jones, and that's really about it. They have a lot of role players who do fill the role pretty well, but they need more stars, and they need more good starting quality players. And they don't really have that. I think they got very lucky last year. Everything clicked at the right time. They got hot at the right time. Patrick Mahomes was unstoppable, and the defensive schemes were working flawlessly. Although I think their defense will do fine again this year, it's just I feel like this coming off season they need to improve a little bit, probably in the draft, maybe in free agency. They definitely need to pick up a few more key players to that defense. Alright, for the last section of this video, I'm just going to give my predictions and my thoughts about this team as a whole. The most concerning factor of this Chiefs team is last year in the playoffs, they were down by like 28 points or 24 points, 24-0 against the Texans. So how did they let that happen? I know the Texans probably got complacent and lost. You know, Bill O'Brien, the greatest coach of all time, let that happen. But they shouldn't have let that happen, and that's a little scary that defense kind of malfunctioned, and then they clicked in the second half. But they need to be clicking at all cylinders all the time, and I haven't seen that. The games they lost were just the team scored a lot of points, and the offense just didn't get much time on the field because that defense did pretty poor. And against the Titans were up 17-3 or 17-7. They were doing very good as well, and then the Titans just kind of lost it on offense and defense. If that didn't happen, you're thinking the Chiefs didn't even make it past their first playoff game, which is a little bit concerning if you ask me. But on the plus, they have Patrick Mahomes, and they have Andy Reid, and they have a great coaching staff. They have the best culture in the NFL. But I don't think their defense or their offensive line is that good. I do think, though, they will probably win the AFC West. I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl. That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. I don't know. But I don't think the Ravens will either. I don't really know who could win. They might both make it to the conference championship. I don't think so. It's going to be an interesting year in the AFC West. I mean, for all we know, the Broncos could win the AFC West, and the Chiefs might not even make the playoffs. Nobody knows. But if the Chiefs are clicking this year like they were last year, it's going to be tough to stop them, and I think they'll just steamroll everybody again. So basically, to sum everything up, the Chiefs are very talented, but they do have some major rough patches on their roster. But I think coaching could very well make up for it. I mean, Bill Belichick, for instance, turns all these no-name players into superstars, and I think Steve Spagnuolo kind of did that this year. He's obviously not no Bill Belichick, but he worked great with this team that didn't have an identity as a defense, and they turned themselves into a very good defense late in the season when they needed them most. So I think the Chiefs definitely could do some damage again this year, but we all never know until the season starts, or even if there is a season. So that's really about it. The Chiefs, I think, are the biggest wild card in the NFL. They did win the Super Bowl, but we really don't know what will happen this year. Alright guys, that about wraps it up for today's video. If you liked it, please consider dropping a like. It helps a lot for the channel. And if you really liked this video and would like to see more videos like this in the future, please subscribe. If you at any time want to unsubscribe, you can do it. It's absolutely free. And if you want, you can turn on post notifications to get notification every time I upload. And it would be awesome if you would share this video with your friends to help grow the channel. And that's it from me, guys. Peace out.